Let's talk about time travel. Ah, yes, who doesn't like a good time travel story? I have seen many movies exploring this interesting idea. Who wouldn't want to see what it was like hundreds of years ago, or hundreds from now? Provided, of course, you would only be a tourist. I wouldn't want to actually live in any one of those time periods. Well, the future maybe, but I think humanity has a bunch of hard times ahead of itself before things get really better. Anyway, time travel is interesting, especially when it comes to the famous grandfather paradox. The one where you travel back in time and kill your grandfather, because he was Hitler. And of course, the core of the paradox is that if you never get to be born, then how can you kill grandpa? Because Hitler gave birth to you. Now, I always liked the classic Back to the Future movies. It's probably one of the most iconic time travel stories out there. However, I was always thrown off by the idea that Marty McFly would start disappearing when his parents wouldn't hook up. And this, of course, isn't just Back to the Future thing. I always thought that the idea broke physics and made no actual sense. But it makes it for a unique story, I suppose. The other possibility is that you can't change history. So whatever you do is what already happened, as if there was no free will, which I think is also a pretty cool concept for a time travel story. I doubt any one of us will ever actually know what happens when you change the past. I myself like the idea that a whole new timeline gets created in which you now reside. Now, when you travel back to the past, you're essentially stuck in the history that now exists. If you caused yourself to never be born, it doesn't actually matter. You don't magically start disappearing. You just simply exist in a universe where you weren't born. To return to your original timeline, you would actually have to go back to the moment when you changed history and prevent yourself from ever changing history. By, killing yourself before you kill your grandpa. The way I like to view this type of alternate history creation is by considering there to be more than one time dimension. This new second time becomes created as soon as time travel begins. Time literally generates its own new dimension. This might resemble something similar to the idea of folded space dimensions in string theory. So the time traveler has his own time, and we, as the spectators, get to experience it with him. This new time weaves into the two alternate histories that get created when the past is changed. Now, in theory, if the time traveler has a sufficiently advanced time machine, he could use it to traverse this new warped timeline and get back home to the original moment of time travel. Sounds like an interesting setup for a time travel story. And just the same, if the time traveler makes other historical alterations, he could potentially be able to jump between different histories as he chooses. You could literally make any history you want with this new type of time machine. I really like the idea of multiple time dimensions when it comes to a possible time travel story. I myself don't have the time and patience to write such a novel. But who knows, maybe one day. I did tease an idea of sorts on my Instagram and website by suggesting there's a Dr. Time sci-fi book series that I've been involved with. I made these AI generated cover pages and wrote a little teaser synopsis for each. The idea was that in an alternate history, I have written these books, and we get to see hints of them in this world. Maybe one day I will actually write a book about time travel. Science fiction always fascinated me. Now, the idea of multiple time dimensions isn't entirely original and does appear in theoretical physics. However, I won't be going into all this in this video. Anyway, I sure hope you all enjoyed this one, and I do intend to make more about time travel. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good day.